We're inside the grandstand area here at Oaklawn Park, and Justin, this is a great spot. You can see the whole panorama of the Crown Championship happening right before our very eyes. It's beautiful. Look at all that color.
It is perfect. It's a perfect place. You got 38 perfect acres of retriever running facility. Ideal.
But you know what? Before we get out to all that action, I think it's really good if we just take just a moment. I mean, this is kind of my idea. Take just a moment to bring everybody up to speed as to how we got here. This has been a fabulous year.
You're exactly right. It's been a busy year, to say the least. Jervis, Oregon to start. Tell us how Calhoun comes out, does an outstanding job. Chris Aiken and slide in there as usual. Clint Johnson and Savannah do an outstanding job, and then we kind of take a little break and head to Tennessee, Union City.
That's right. Union City was actually a special challenge. A lot of hidden blinds, a lot of distance that they had to cover. A special new challenge once we got into that state.
Very realistic hunting scenario all the way through. Scott Greer and Abby came to the front. You know, what about Fauna Possum and Will out of nowhere? I mean, absolute amateur running with the big boys, and Lyle Steinman and River, proven to be an outstanding team throughout the whole series.
And three relatively new names surface in Union City, which is proof to the argument that this sport is growing. We see it every time we have an event.
Big groups, 125 per event. Just been an incredible year. The most competitive year I think we probably ever dreamed of at SRS.
All right, let's go to Lewisburg, North Carolina, which I will forever remember as being the event of the swamp.
It got nasty. And Danny Farmer comes in there with absolutely nothing to prove, the most heralded handler in retriever field trial history, and proves that he can play another game, maybe a game that might be a little more difficult, takes a little more versatility, comes in there, makes it happen.
And I think that was the big headline, don't you? Because here's a man who was accomplished in the field, and yet in the swamp, he scores big.
He proved that a good dog's a good dog no matter what game you're playing.
So from Lewisburg, North Carolina, that brings us to Dyersburg, Tennessee. What will you take with you from that stop in Dyersburg?
You know, when I think about Dyersburg, Tennessee, I got to think about Howdy and John Brochek. Howdy's a dog that's been with a number of different owners throughout his career. He's had some success early, but he kind of fallen off a little bit. He gets with Johnny Brochek, and I mean, they just put it together, and, you know, Lyle Steinman and River were back in there again. Chris Aiken's in there with Dallas, but the real story there was definitely Howdy.
And that sets us up for the last qualifier in Hot Springs. And this was the last chance for some. For others, it was a chance to use maybe a new dog and establish a new reputation.
Right. And top to bottom, and all I'll remember forever, was Rankin.
Really?
She absolutely destroyed the first series. She destroyed the second series. She destroyed the third series. And she barely got by Rhodey Best and Ike in the fourth series. I don't know that you can hide a bird from Rankin right now. I mean, I don't know how far you'd have to throw one, but I'm telling you, there's not enough room in this 40 acres to throw one that she can't find today.
Maybe we need another zip code. So we got all these qualifiers, all these accomplished teams, and you throw in Chris Aiken and Fever, our Sport Dog Team of the Year. You throw in Achilles, who's invited back because he was a silver medalist here at the Crown Championship last year. Oh my gosh, what a championship we've got in front of us.
It's wide open. They're not going to take any bets on it at Oaklawn today because there's no odds. It's anybody's game.
In 2005, only 2 years ago, the average jump in the semifinal round of an SRS Superfly event was 20 feet 6 inches. Contestants and events were mostly in the Midwest and South. In 2007, to make it to the SRS Crown Championship, the dogs have to be 1 foot better than they were before in the preliminary events. That's how difficult it has become to make it to this championship. In addition to that, each dog will now be competing against dogs from the Midwest, the South, the West Coast, the East Coast, and all points in between. If you can win the SRS Crown Championship in Superfly, you truly have the nation's greatest dog in the sport. Coming up, the Ducks Unlimited Superfly and Super V. Better than it's ever been.
The Super Retriever Series is brought to you by Avery. Welcome to your life. Sport Dog brand, gear the way you'd design it. Eukanuba, feed the breed. And by these fine sponsors: Express Boats, Ducks Unlimited, and Creative Answer.
And so we begin the Crown Championship. Before the action starts, The handlers gather to receive their armbands. These bands represent the order in which they will run. But this year, the bands will represent a special dedication. A dedication to a friend who is unable to join us and the teammate of Tellus Calhoun. This year's band is Goldie's band. As Tellus gives us the honor of her presence, let us join him in her remembrance. Jervis, Oregon, first place. That place belongs to Goldie. Triangle C Pure Gold, her name. Some of us have been fortunate enough to spend time around very special retrievers, but none more special than Goldie. In competition, she has done things that only the very best could ever think of doing. She has also hunted with us when the temperatures and terrain were unforgiving. She performed with style, with heart, and above all, a tremendous desire that only a very few can take credit for. Sadly, Goldie will not be able to take her rightful place at the Crown Championship. She was a victim of cancer. Although she'll never stand at the line with Tellus again, she'll be remembered by those of us who saw her for one word: perfection. For the competitors who gather for the Crown Championship, they only hope that their dogs will perform like Goldie. All right, let's go to the dog now, where we're going to crown this year's best distance jumper in the Superfly competition. And where earlier today, we found out who has the maddest jumps in the dog world in the Ducks Unlimited Super V competition. Now, we narrowed the competition down to an amazing final 4 dogs who challenged gravity in search for the Crown Championship. The beauty of the sport, you never know when something amazing is about to happen. Let's see if lightning strikes.
Craig, the competition really started heating up at the 6'8" mark, where the first attempt by Nestle and Angie was wasted when Nestle's anxiousness to get in the pool got the best of him. With only one good attempt at that height, Angie breathed a huge sigh of relief when Nestle nailed the 6'8".
That's what happens. You get back against the wall. You got to come through. All right, let's move on. Melissa Ness and her dog Striker. They've already won 1 Crown Championship to their name. They were looking to add another. Oh, he's so confident at 6'8". Notice he was in it for the long haul here.
He's a bad man. Don't forget about Keita and Blaine Baudouin. Co-winners of the last event at Dyersburg showed they're still on a roll, making it all the way to the Final Four. 6'8" was about as high as he got in Dyersburg, and he hit it again here.
All right, let's move on. Here's Jag with Randy Murphy. They were the co-winning team in Dyersburg, but their run in the Crown would come to an end at 6'8", just barely. Jag actually had the bumper in hand, but fumbled it on the way down. That's frustrating.
Tough deal for those guys. 3 dogs move up to 6'10", and in Nestle's second attempt, I mean all over, just couldn't finish the deal. Bumper hung on by 1 thread. Tough deal, they're out.
Came oh so close, but here's a dog that is on fire. This is Striker and Melissa Ness. His attempt at 6'10". Oh, he took it down emphatically.
The pressure was on Keita. Has to make it happen right here. Miss it, and Striker takes it. Oh!
Keita makes a valiant effort, but his run comes to an end at 6'10", making Striker and Melissa Ness the winners again. But folks, Striker wasn't done. Remember when I said we watch for lightning to strike? We go up to 7 feet, no problem. Through 7'2", no problem. And with the crowd in a frenzy, he ties the SRS record, hitting 7'4", all of them on his first attempt.
In Striker's first attempt to set a SRS record at 7'6", he did something he has not done before. Watch this. He missed it.
Hadn't done that all day. He'd been nailing every jump and finally missed it.
But he's got another shot. Watch him get up. Get up!
7'6", and the crowd goes crazy. Striker had one of the most amazing days a dog has ever had.
Oh, watch that hitch kick, man. That is so cool. That's
absolutely
unbelievable.
Beautiful. And he sets an SRS record in the process. This was all Striker all day. Look at that new record. And Nestle and Keita both have to feel pretty good. Angie Jones and Blaine Baudouin, 6'10". Wow, what a Super V competition. An example of the athleticism on display here in Hot Springs at our Crown Championship. Can't wait to get back here to the dock for the Ducks Unlimited Superfly. You talk about big. It's going to be big, Justin.
All right, Craig, I know you think you know what's big, but let me tell you what's big. 523 yards, that's big. That's huge. 5 football fields. It's just a double. First bird, 523. Second bird pops out at about 75 yards. Who has the best set of eyes? Who's got the drive and the determination to get out there and get it done? It's marketing in its purest form, and that is your Sport Dog brand virtual course.
I can't believe the distance they're about to cover in this first challenge. But on the upside, it gives me time to go join Justin in the field.
As Tellus Calhoun runs our test dog, it's about time to kick this thing off. A double. That's what the handlers are watching, a double. The long memory bird is long, very long.
Intensity is high as the handlers walk to the line to attempt what would be the longest mark at 523 yards in SRS history.
Savannah. She got in her area. I was able to put her right on the bird. That may play. We don't know. A lot of dogs left to run, and these are some good ones.
I got the right animal. There's nobody I trust more than this dog, so we've trained for years and years and years for this set of marks.
Way out, way out, way out. Whoa!
Some teams just could not break the barrier.
That's all right.
She's just not, she's not focused right now. Of course, everybody tells me, hey, just the dog that doesn't train well before the trial is the one that wins. So I'm hoping that pans out a little bit.
Some come to watch what turns out to be their last run. And at 11 years of age, Achilles will always be a champion.
Yeah, I'll never get him. Get him to throw it or something.
In the last 3 years, here in the big show, he's won it and he's finished second twice. I've had the best ride that a guy could ever have in his life with him.
Like any competition, some share disappointment, others share happiness.
I'm kind of like, let's just take one disaster at a time. So I'm going to worry about Slide right now, and then I'll worry about Fever, and then I'll worry about Dallas. But got a lot of confidence in my other two. This one, I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best.
Yeah. A lot of this stuff you see, you got to be a good field trial dog to do this stuff too. You can't. I mean, the dogs I see here, they would do well in the field trial stuff. This is more fun than barrel monkeys, I swear to God.
Rankin!
She's working with me. She's going to go where I ask her to. And, the chance to stand beside a dog like this, it's an amazing opportunity.
Come on, baby, run now. Run through that hole. Baby, go in there now. Go in there. Go in there.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. I thought it could be done no better after watching Danny Farmer and Jack, but Rankin destroyed it.
These are the 8 dogs and handlers that advance, and these are the handlers and dogs that don't.
Yes, but they're still the best of the best just to get here.
That's the trophy that these dogs have their eye on, and now we know, Justin, the dogs that are really serious about winning that trophy and this fabulous, fabulous trailer.
They are. There's 3 dogs that are one step closer. Actually, there's 8 dogs that are still in it, but right now, when you break it down and you look at it close, you see Danny Farmer and Jack. Killed it. Scott Greer and Abby, very nice job. Stacy West and Rankin absolutely obliterated. I mean, they look like a free safety killing a wide receiver. I mean, they smoked it.
Well, it was a special challenge. Does this set up the dogs for the next challenge, the next trial? I mean, they're going to switch directions now. You just know this is going to be confusing to
You bet it is. The judges know exactly what they're doing. What they're doing, they're getting these dogs wide open. They're thinking long. Now, the handlers also know that the judges know that. So they're out training right now, combating that, getting ready, because they know that they've got something very special coming. That express boat has been the demise of many champions retrievers all over North America this year. We're going to see what it's going to do to these crown champions.
Before we go to the boat, we're going to the dock for the Ducks Unlimited Superfly competition. Stay right here. And now, let the dogs fly in the Ducks Unlimited Superfly competition. They came from all over to be with us at the Crown Championship in Hot Springs. They came from Oregon. They came from Michigan, from California. And they all competed well. There was Odie with Haley Roeder, only 15 years of age. And look at Odie. Odie's going to be a dog to contend with. There was Kona and Tracy Hughes from California. And in the process of whittling it down, we lost some champions like Chris Piasson, who won it last year with that dog, Bo. There was Kim Butler, who came from Oklahoma with his dog and a former champion Slide. And the SRS record holder, Jag. And of course, the perennial, the superstar. Believe it or not, Little Morgan was eliminated with Mike Jackson. It was quite an upset.
After some big surprises, here's what we had. Gerald Clavier and Jack. I remember Jack in Texas a few years ago. He can jump out of the gym literally 22-3. Wasn't good enough to hang in here.
Not going to get him in the top 3.
Jay Harris won 2 events this year with Sir Harley. He was on fire. I think the heat got to him, maybe the travel schedule, I don't know. 21-6.
Not going to get him to the final 3.
Rich Schaefer, all the way from Colorado with Jasper. Technically sound. I watched this dog all day. Very, very good. Just not enough. 22-5.
All right, now we do get down to the final 3, beginning with Anna Borovich and her dog Colby. Remember, the goal here is to get to the head-to-head competition. The final 2 jumpers where we clean the slate and start all over again. Colby has been injured, but according to Anna, through rehabilitation, Colby is back and stronger than ever.
Let's see what he can do right here. Got big ups. Oh! I don't know.
Might get the lift.
You know, he seemed to get some height. He's running scared a little bit. I'm not sure that injury is all the way healed.
But it is 22-6, and it puts her in first place.
I'm surprised. The dog went a lot farther than I thought, but watch this dog. This is serious business here.
A whole change in style, and when she lets Nevada go.
Rocket ship, baby. Get up! And the rubber duck.
The bullet approach. Sherry Robinson in Nevada. Watch, straight in.
All speed, 100% speed. It's amazing. This dog's got to be going 30-plus miles an hour down the dock. 23-7. Good enough, man.
Remember, trying to get to the top 2, so we bring Dean Skillman in, probably the most experienced handler in the Ducks Unlimited Superfly. He's been here time and time again.
Whether he's the most experienced or not, he is the very best. He does not make mistakes. Everybody could learn something from this guy.
Here's Wiley. When the rope goes up, so does Wiley.
Oh, incredible. Perfect throw. What else can you say? I mean, he just does not make mistakes.
Obviously not here. Look at this. 23-4 is his distance. If you take a look at the paw cam, you can see very good release. It's about a foot off the edge.
Technically superior to anybody in the country. He does not make mistakes. Again, if you'll watch the way the dog sets up, he sets up for height. And if it gets down to the finals, he's so good, you cannot bet against him.
All right, let's show you the leaderboard. And for the record, it's Nevada and Sherry Robinson, number 1, Wiley and Dean Skillman, number 2. And there they are, the 2 who'll face one another in the championship. As usual, the action is non-stop here in Hot Springs. While we get champions in the pool, we go back to the field. Lyle Steinman and his dog River, ready for the finals of the retriever trials. Now, we've had one course that tested a dog's focus and his endurance. This time, the field is smaller. It's going to test the dog's memory. Here's Justin to show us exactly what these dogs and handlers are confronted with.
All right, let me take you through the Sport Dog Brand virtual course. It's shaky, difficult, tough and rough, true-to-life hunting scenario. Handler walks up, places his dog on the bow of the boat, walks back, grabs his shotgun, loads 3. Starts heading this direction, and Field Hudnall tells him to get out. Now watch, 3 birds from the left, all teal at the same time. Bam, 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 10 to 20 yards, give or take. Reset, long mark at about 100 is going to fall right in front of them. Out of the same hide, going away at about 125, another one comes out. Third bird comes out up on top of the hill. Third that you saw, 6 total birds. Very difficult scenario. The handler must cast his dog remotely. Then he can get back into position to handle his dog. But when you take a look at this thing, it's a smorgasbord of birds. There it is. The judges are looking for extremely tight lines on these short birds. They feel like dogs at this level should be able to align to those things even if they can't remember. Very tight, very difficult situation.
Lyle Steinman and his dog River set the bar with 41 faults. That's pretty good, Justin, for the first time out.
I did not think it was good work to start. The more I look at where these birds are placed, it is a very difficult scenario.
All right, let's bring in Scott Greer and Abby, and didn't get much of a chance here because Abby wouldn't stay on the boat. Jumps off before all the shooting starts.
And this is a field trial dog, and she hadn't been hunting all that much, and let's face it, as far as SRS goes, this, we won in Union City. And that's been it for her, and we're going to change that next year, even though I think that was a bad mistake on my part by not giving her this experience all year. It might have been the wrong decision. I was trying to get other dogs qualified, and that worked out. I got another one in, but I think with her, she needs to keep doing more of this, and go hunting, and that way the razzmatazz of this whole deal is not such a big deal.
Sit.
Tough break for Scott Greer and Abby with a score of 107.
Sit.
Chris Aiken and Dallas. Surprisingly, Dallas was able to stay on the boat. No breaking. She did some creeping. She got really excited as usual. But she got so high, she overran a bunch of birds, ended up with a big switch in the field. It really cost her.
Got too excited, didn't she?
A little bit excited.
Every bird looked good, looked like the one she ought to bring back. Look at that.
She's so much fun to watch, but she let herself just get so amped up, she ended up blowing by a bunch of the shorter birds to go long.
She could have been a hero right there picking that one up first.
Tough break for Chris and Dallas. They ended up with a 68.
All right, let's bring in Clint Johnson and Savannah. This is their game. They hunt every day, Justin. That's going to make a big difference.
Very surprising here. Very surprising. Savannah, who's normally calm, cool, and collected, extremely birdie dog, she ran by mark after mark after mark.
It's going to wind up meaning 88 faults. A tough day for Clint Johnson and Savannah. All right, let's take a look at the leaderboard. And Justin, the first dog out of the boat's got the lead.
Absolutely shocking. I never thought Lyle Steinman and River would be able to get through the hunting stuff. They've done incredible.
Welcome back as Field and Clay Hudnall representing Zink calls. Get the action going for the next 4 dogs and handlers, starting with J. Paul Jackson and Murphy.
Murphy did a great job staying steady as a rock on the boat. I thought he did an awesome job of marking. He overran every short bird. He had to handle on every short bird, put him in a bad situation.
How odd that the short birds would be the biggest problem.
Well, what makes it so difficult is those tight birds, just like you do in hunting, you shoot the close birds first. The long birds are falling out longer and later, and those dogs are focusing on those long birds, overrunning the short birds. Therefore, they forget the short birds.
I got
Tough
you.
scenario.
All right, well, it would mean 70 faults for J. Paul Jackson and Murphy. Coming to the line, a field trial specialist who's really doing well at the hunting scenario.
Danny's proven a great dog is a great dog no matter where you ran him. Again, Jack had a difficult time with the short birds. Had a few handles in there early, but did a nice job on the long birds. Running through old falls shows why Danny Farmer is the trainer that he is.
And you and I talked. You like Danny Farmer's chances at taking this whole championship.
He's just great at what he does. You see John Kerr there, the owner of Jack, very intent on what's going on. Danny Farmer's the best that's ever lived, and these guys are all playing catch-up right now.
Remember, 41 faults leads it, but Danny Farmer would come away with 44. Still, he is close and right into contention. Here is a tough team, Stacy West and Rankin.
She can do it all, man. Go long, short. You just think about the kind of animal it takes to do what she's able to accomplish all the time, and you know something, she's very, very special. Taking Stacy to the very top of the game. Incredible animal. Very nice job. Comes away with a 41. You see her check down there. What else can you say about this dog?
Stacy West and Rankin come away with 41 faults, and because it took 1 second longer than Lyle Steinman, they're actually in second place. And that brings us to our 2007 Sport Dog Brand Team of the Year, Chris Aiken and his dog, Fever.
Outstanding dog. Obviously, everyone knows that Chris Aiken's a great handler. Watch this setup. This shot shows you what kind of special animal it takes to watch those three right there at 10 yards. The guys are hammering down from zinc calls on their calls, getting after it. Saw those three. Now here comes three more.
And you can really see the special challenge here, Justin, because you've got all this chaos going on. At the same time, the dog is having to have this remarkable bit of concentration and focus with
It's
all
unbelievable.
this going on. Yeah.
It's absolutely unbelievable, especially when you think these dogs just came out of a 523-yard mark. To have that kind of gas in the tank to be able to get that done, come back and sit steady, it takes an incredible animal to do it. Fever's she's on top of it. She's done as good a job on the short birds to date that we've seen.
I still think it's remarkable. Lyle Steinman has the best score, and he was the first one that came to the point, or actually to the line.
River's an incredible dog, and Lyle will be the first to tell you. I mean, she can take you where you want to go.
Well, Chris Aiken and Fever, not too shabby. 41 faults is what they're going to come away with, but because their time was a little bit slower, they're actually now in third place. But Chris is feeling good.
I learned something with Dallas, and I sent Dallas real hard on that mark and tried to drive her that long bird to quick out be a hero. It didn't work out, so on Fever, I gave her a second, let her pull back, look over there, and then send her. That was a lot smarter move on my part.
Some had difficulties on the long bird, some on the short. There's your top four, man.
All right, we're down to the final four. It's getting real good. Stay right here.
Welcome back to Hot Springs, Arkansas. Inside Oaklawn track, we're down to 4 dogs. This is the finals. A Sport Dog Brand virtual course looks just like this. Start out of a ground force dog blind. The dog will be right beside him. It's a quint, 5 marks. First mark comes out, pitched right at him at about 25, 30 yards. Mark number 2 comes out of a boat, going away about 75 yards. Mark number 3 cancels that mark out by going the opposite direction, just a hair deeper at about 125. They've got to bust some cover to make that one happen. Mark number 4 is at about 15 yards in heavy cover right here. Mark number 5 up on the hill, going away at about 75 to 100 yards. You get those 5 done. Settle in, you got a blind at about 185 yards. Scott, you competed against all 4 of these dogs throughout the year. You know the handlers, you know the dogs that are here. Who's your money on and why?
My money's got to be on Rankin.
Really?
Yeah, she's been absolutely phenomenal for this whole deal. We've been running here all week. She's yet to look for a mark. She is just absolutely on fire right now.
But Lyle Steinman and River may have a lot to say about who's going to win this championship. Lyle shows lots of concentration.
He's been in the finals twice this year in his first year at SRS, come up a little short on both occasions.
River.
He can make it count here.
So when you point out the birds like Lyle was doing for River, does that really work? Obviously.
You bet it does. What the judges have here is kind of a guide setup. They've got 2 gunners in front. They've got the handler in the back to see if the dog knows to look out, look for birds without an aid. If you can stick your hand down in front of them while those birds are coming out, hey, it can't hurt.
Keep in mind as you watch this, this was one of the hottest days or hottest parts of the day in Hot Springs. So these dogs had to contend with heat as they went about that really tough challenge of getting all these birds.
Absolute gut check. You see her check down on that short bird. Nice work.
Boy, Lyle is not showing any panic. It's almost like he's been here 100 times before, knows exactly where all those birds are. Hard to believe he's a rookie. I mean, this is his first year in SRS.
He's a great handler and a great trainer. He's done some wonderful things in a short period of time, especially here at SRS.
And once again, for the second year in a row, you're seeing a dog get hot at the Crown Championship. We had it last year. River's hot this year.
She's just taking a great line. She's working with him. She's a total team player right now. That's a long bird. I promise you she did not see that bird at 170, 180 yards, whatever it is, stepped right on it.
And now with only 15 faults, going for another one. There's a little direction there.
Yeah, this is a little check down bird, kind of cancels one another out on the. It's a funny scenario the judges have put together, and these judges really understand what dogs are looking for, what they're not looking for, and she's tearing this thing up.
And here we go with the blind. This is the biggest challenge.
180 yards right through the middle of everything. Got to get a piece of water, get out, get back in, and she's killing this thing, man. Pow!
Look at that. Look at that. And the crowd knows it, and Lyle Steinman knows it, and River knows it. River knows when she's done well.
Oh, yeah, they know. And you hear Lyle constantly on that whistle. He knows it's going to be tight. He's trying to get her back in to make sure if there's a tie, he's up there.
And again, he sets the bar. 25 faults. All right, here's the man to beat, Danny Farmer, coming up to the line with Jack.
Here he comes. New scenario for Jack. Saw the first one fine. Look left, Jack. There you go. Come on, Danny. Remember where those birds are. One more on the left side. Danny keeps trying to pull right. I know he's thinking hard about that long bird, which can cause some difficult trouble.
A lot of times you can tell what is concerning a handler by how he acts on the line.
That's right.
You know, he's starting to look ahead at this, what could be a big problem. So
Jack knows exactly where he's going here. Jack saw more birds than River did. Smart's kind of going away. They got to drive by that blind. Check down here, Jack. Check down. Take a right. There you go, buddy. 2 of the 5 out of the way.
Smart dog.
Here we go. Driving for that long bird, that kind of that canceling out mark, and over and under is what they call it.
Hot.
Little handle there. Another handle. Come on.
These are the most whistles we've heard Danny Farmer use in SRS in this competition. Since he joined us this year, you've heard more whistles with this run than at any other time.
Check.
Couldn't have come at a worse time
That's
either,
right.
because you're into
That's
the
right.
championship.
That's right. Short bird, check down on it. Now he's got to check down on this one. Blowing through the water, he's hard right. He's going to need a whistle here unless Jack can correct his line. Got to get left here.
Danny's got him back on line.
He's definitely not going to win it, but he's still shooting for second at this point.
Keep in mind, we did not announce scores after every one of these runs. These handlers have no idea where they stand. They have a pretty good idea as to how they're doing on their particular run, but as to how they compare, they don't know. We kept those scores from everybody. What happened there, Justin?
He just wasted a whistle. Jack was on the bird. Cost him at least 2 more. He had a handle to the area there. That's going to be a major fault. Give me a good blind here, Jack. Whistle refusal. He hit that whistle at the wrong time.
Now that splashing water, is that going to cover up the sound of the whistle?
You bet
sometimes?
it does, and that's why the timing, that's why these subtle things that these great handlers do, they make or break the whole thing.
Yeah, Danny knows it too. He's going to slap his forehead after this competition going, gosh, what was I thinking? Most experienced handler on the line, and he's making some rookie mistakes.
Having a tough time on his blind. You know, earlier in some interviews, he said that Jack was one of the best marking dogs he had, but his blinds weren't where he thought they should be at this point. So kind of caught up to him there. When he got into some handling, it was tough on him.
But Danny Farmer learned his lessons. He'll be back. From the hot field to the cool pool, the Ducks Unlimited Superfly is ready for the championship round. 2 dogs facing each other. It's Nevada against Wiley.
Super contrasting styles here. We've got speed with Nevada, technique, and power with Wiley and Dean Skillman.
All right, Dean Skillman and Wiley in second place, so they'll go first. Trying to win the Crown Championship, their first ever. And Dean has talked about how he's got a new throwing technique, and it's actually been evident this time around.
And this guy's good. I'm telling you, he is very good. He's the best I've ever seen. I used to think Ken Butler was right there, but this guy is mistake-free.
Up goes the rump. That hasn't changed.
Get up, get
And
up.
goes Wiley.
He flew, man. I don't know how long it was. This dog is getting stronger. He's getting stronger as the day goes on. Better and better.
All right, let's take a look at the paw cam. You're going to see Wiley's got that timing down absolutely perfect. It's the throw that does it, and it's really helped. 24-2, our first 24-foot jump of the afternoon.
He's doing what every handler dreams about doing, getting the most out of your animal. Wiley's not the fastest, he's not the strongest, but he gets the most out of him. Let's see what Sherry can do with Nevada here.
Now, we've talked about power. Here comes speed.
Speed, here comes the speed. Oh! You know, you never know how far they're going because they're going so fast. They don't get near the height that all the power jumpers do, but they're going so fast. You just never know.
Nevada had to beat 24-2, but doesn't. 23-1. And for the first time, Dean Skillman and Wiley have come away with an SRS Ducks Unlimited Superfly Championship.
That's a big, strong dog, and he is very excited right now.
Let's take a look at that 24-foot jump one more time. Poetry in motion.
Absolutely perfect. I mean, he got everything he could get there. He may have gave away 2 inches on the dock. I don't know. It doesn't matter. He flew 24-2. He deserves it all.
Dean Skillman, very popular. High fives all around. Unless you're a dog, then it's a high 4.
The Super Retriever Series is brought to you by Avery. Welcome to your life. Sport Dog brand. Gear the way you design it. Eukanuba, feed the breed. And by these fine sponsors, Zinc Calls, Splash Dogs, and by Hot Springs, Arkansas.
And we're down to our last 2 dogs here in Hot Springs at Oaklawn Park. Who's going to win this crown championship? That's Chris Aiken coming to the line with Fever, an experienced team, Justin.
In a situation where dogs are having a difficult time seeing all the birds down, it's very tough to bet against Chris Aiken. It's been said on many occasions that Chris Aiken can mark better than any dog who's ever lived. So,
in other words, if Chris Aiken was a dog, he'd be a championship
Oh, he'd be
dog.
a good one. He'd be a good one.
Well, that's good, though.
You
He's
bet.
in sync with his dog, and Fever looking back for instructions.
Had a little handle there on that short middle bird. She's going to have to really come on clean.
Are you surprised at the number of handles we've had? Because this is relatively not plain course, but it's a course that you can beat pretty easily.
Yeah, it's busy, and I think because of the heat, like you alluded to earlier, very difficult for the dogs to keep their level of concentration. I think that, it's really hard to think about what you're doing when you're really gasping for oxygen.
And people watching, they're going to have a tough time thinking it's hot because of the enthusiasm the dogs continue to display out in the field.
You got to remember, these are the best retrievers in the world, bar none. They're the very best. They're the most versatile, and they've beaten upwards of almost 1,000 dogs just this year to get here. So,
as Fever takes the other side of the hill, that's when Chris Aiken's run into problems.
I don't think she saw it. Bam! Right there. Woo! He's in pretty good shape.
They've already gotten more faults than Lyle Steinman and River. Do you think Chris Aiken knows?
He probably feels like it. Most of these guys that have played very long, they can tell you their score within 1 or 2 points as soon as they leave the line.
Which is a testimonial to SRS as a sport, because if everybody's in sync, very few discrepancies. That means no angry discussions or arguments, so that's good that everybody's on the same page and everybody knows.
That's right. That's right. The judges do a great job. She's scalloping a little bit on this blind. He's still playing for second.
And when you say scalloping, what does that mean?
In other words, she's not taking the line he's given her. He's given her this right angle, and she's taking the angle initially, then she's falling back to the left and going the way she wants to go.
Doing her own thing.
That's right. And it's cost him a little bit.
I'll do what you tell me, but I'm going to do it my way.
That's right.
Yeah.
36, not bad work.
All right, here's your score as you see it. This is how we rank, and right now Lyle Steinman and River are right in line for a crown championship, but they've got one more dog to watch, and we all do. And what a dog. Rankin and Stacy West.
Unbelievable animal. He can't get her to look left. I don't think she saw any of those birds. She may have seen the very first bird. I know she didn't see this bird.
Wonder why that is. Dogs just don't look in one direction.
They're so keyed on it coming out where they think it needs to come out, and that's the tough part. Mike Lardy said it years ago. 99% of field trials are won at the line, and it's the same here. She's having a tough time digging this bird out. She's stacking up a lot of points. She's kind of in hunt mode right here, too. I've seen her do this one time before. And that was in Kentucky finals a couple years ago in Shelbyville. She kind of went into hunt mode, and Stacy almost lost her on a blind. He ended up coming in third, at that event. But once she turns him off, which they all do at certain times, she can be tough to deal with.
And it's hard to tell when that's coming, isn't it?
That's right.
Because they're so far out there.
And she's got so much confidence right now. She just won the Hot Springs qualifier. She did a great job in the first series. She hung in there in the second, and she's probably a little bit full of herself right now.
And this was the dog that everybody thought was going to win it. But look, one more mistake, Lyle Steinman's got a championship. As you look at the faults at the top of your screen, look, watch.
She's got to smash this bird and line the blind to win this thing.
But unfortunately, she goes offline.
She's offline left. Lyle Steinman's won this thing. Lyle Steinman and River have won the largest retriever trial purse in history.
Remember, they don't know it because the scores have not been announced. They probably feel it, but they don't know it for sure.
That bird really cost him. In fact, that bird, I believe, has cost him second place. Now he's trying to beat Farmer. He's got to have a nice blind here. Oh, what a line. And she's running so hard. You see Bev Garcia, Rankin's owner, right there. Oh, incredible blind. She's right there. Right there.
Good concentration from Stacy West. He's
Bang.
really pulling for her, and she's got it. But there are 40 faults. That means Lyle Steinman's got it. He's going to win the Crown Championship.
Came out of nowhere. First year at Super Retriever Series, win the largest purse in retriever trial history.
And there it is. Lyle Steinman, first year in SRS, comes away with a $30,000 purse and a $25,000 mountaintop trailer, $55,000 in prizes. Chris Aiken's got to be happy. Everybody's smiling as they accept their awards. And there's your winner of the Ducks Unlimited Superfly competition, Dean Scalman. He's going to take that trophy back home and display it proudly. And don't forget Melissa Ness, most stunning performance of the whole weekend with her dog Striker setting a new SRS Super V record.